Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. My name is Russ. Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. If you're a fellow action figure collector or just a fan of toys and pop culture, please subscribe to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Every week I open a recently acquired toy or collectible, and today I am opening Flash Gordon from Defenders of the Earth. Flash Gordon, of course, is a classic comic strip, TV and movie character. And in the 80s, he was a part of this line of fellow King Syndicate characters. Mandrake the Magician and the Phantom, of course. Classic pulp characters from the rich history of comics. Came together and formed an Avengers-style super team called the Defenders of the Earth. And I think it was kind of a grasp at the success superhero teams were having in the 80s. Honestly, I don't know a lot about the history of this other than they're cool characters. They teamed up. I watched the cartoon. I have some of the collectibles from that era. I have like a puzzle. Some of the figures, they're hanging up. They're in package. I have Mandrake the Magician and Ming from the vintage Defenders of the Earth line. Some of the rare figures I have not just opened. I have like 10 figures I've never opened. And they are practically open because they're very loose on the board. In fact, I think a paper clip is holding the bubbles on to the boards. That's how I bought them, and that's how I've kept them. So when NECA, is that how you say it? NECA, released these figures, I was so excited to have them in my collection, and yet they were so expensive, and still are, 30 bucks a piece. And I see Flash Gordon in a Flash Gordon specific line where it's on a different kind of card back than this. And it's a different sculpt a little bit, but I see that Flash Gordon and that Ming. It's a Flash Gordon specific line. I see that at Target all the time. Never moves, never discounted. Always like 30 bucks. So these figures as well, and they've expanded a little bit since these 5. I'd love to have them all, but I'm not going in 30 bucks a piece on these. I just can't justify it. And when I saw these characters, so I have Flash, and I think I got Ming, okay? $24.99 at a local toy store that was doing 50% off. So that was like 2 for the price of 1, basically. I couldn't resist at that point. I had to know. I've been coveting these figures for so long. Are they worth it? So I'm about to find out. I've read mixed reviews online. Some people's figures have easily broken. I really hope that's not the case. Because I'd just like to enjoy these figures, display them, and celebrate how classic these characters are and how they've contributed to what I love today in the modern mythology of Superman, Batman, and so on. So just taking a quick peek at the back here. Flash Gordon, savior of the universe. Out of the sky, his rockets ignite, jets into battle faster than light. Flash Gordon is the legendary swashbuckler of space travel. This intergalactic adventurer is known throughout the galaxy as the one man to battle the evil Ming and come out the hero. Flash alone understands the twisted mind of this wicked tyrant and leads the Defenders' war against him to save Earth from extinction. Okay. I haven't collected a lot of NECA or NECA toys. Please forgive me on the pronunciation. And so I don't know if this is the first time I've ever noticed that there are credits listed on the back of the box. And that, to me, is incredible. Prototypes were by TrueCast Studios, character illustration, and there's some names listed here. The paint job, the fabrication, it's all there. Oh, that character illustration, beautiful. Super cool. And then there are the names, because I don't want to mispronounce anything more, so you can just see the names there, right? Okay, I hope so. With laser blaster, blast effects, and sword. Why doesn't every action figure company do this? Mattel, McFarlane Toys. Why aren't we, you're making these for adults. We all know that. We're adult collectors. We've been following this stuff for a long time. We know there are studios behind the production of these toys. I love that the credits are there, and it immediately starts to justify why these are $30 figures to me. It's higher level. It's next level thinking, and I really appreciate that a lot. with that said, I am tearing open the box. I'll never look at it again. And the figure's numbered too, so he's specifically number 2 in the line. Interesting. Okay. Kind of seeing what all this is about. Let's get into him. Okay. Multiple hands, never crazy about that. And he's really twisted in there, so these twist ties. I gotta open my toys now like I'm opening a loaf of bread. Don't get it, never had these when I was a kid. The figures never seemed to bounce around in the box back then, so why we need these now I'll never understand. It's just more trash. Okay, he emerges. I mean, if you could beat Ming, you could beat this. All right, you're out. And what are you like? Solid figure. Just kind of putting him into some position here. There is something kind of classic about his look and feel already. Stiff, so you really got to break the joints in. But there's some posability potential here. Huh. Do the legs not go wide? I don't want to break him again. I don't see that, so I'm just going to leave that be. Normally there'd be like a joint here so the legs could go wide like that. And I don't see that, so I'm not going to... Oh, as I speak, Flash succumbs. So, ooh, okay, did you hear that? So really kind of breaking him in here. And I know there are ways to do this. I know there's some boiling water techniques that people do, and you know, heat. Maybe if I blew him with a hairdryer, would that work? But look at that right there. That's a pretty dynamic pose. That's a pretty cool, like, he's just ready for action. And I dig that. I mean, on one hand, he's like just a guy, you know, kind of funky spacesuit. But on the other hand, this is a legendary character that brings a lot to the table as far as just what superheroes are today and stuff. So, yeah, look at that. Neat. Okay, so what do we have in here? A sword. Cool. Okay. Something He-Man-esque about that. This laser. Nice. Cool. And then all these hands with which he can hold these things. And what are they, behind tape? And it looks like I'm missing one already. Oh no, that's not a hand. That's like a blast effect for the gun. Okay. I just, you know, these things are small. I don't know what the best way to do it. They're in there. They're in there deep. And I intentionally don't open these with, oh, okay. It's me, user error here. They were behind a little piece of plastic there. So if you guys have this figure, you're like, move the plastic, dude. Okay, I did. Hands are free, blast effect free. All this trash. Okay. I mean, Defenders of the Earth, we need Captain Planet for all this plastic, guys. It's just a lot, okay? So here we go. I am going to remove this hand. Hate doing this, because I feel like I'm going to break these figures. This goes in the gun, over the gun. Okay, so there's like a little blast effect there. You see that? That's pretty cool. I'm going to put the gun in the hand and then put the hand on the figure. Is that going to work? Is there a hand that's better? I assume this is a shooting hand because it has like a trigger finger out. So I'm going in on that. The blast piece fell off. Okay. So that is how he holds the gun, I presume. See that? I'm going to put that on him like so. See that peg? I just saw that peg bend. Just a little bit. I wasn't lining it up right. Freaks me out. Especially if I was dropping 30 bucks on these figures. Just to like have it break on me right away. Even now, the kind of removal, you can see like the paint wear on the peg. Like, was that flesh tone before? And it doesn't need to be, because that would be concealed, but like the palm there, the joint is wearing. So, you know what, Mattel, McFarlane, maybe don't put names on the packages, because then we'd know who to blame, right? So, okay, I'm putting this hand in. Like, the paint is literally flecking off on me as I'm doing this. That's weird. Never really had that happen before. Okay. Now I have that hand in there. I want him to be holding this sword up here. And the sword broke. The sword just very cleanly broke at the handle. In real time, unplanned. I did not intend for that to happen, but I read reviews that it might, and there you go. It certainly did. Was I being too hard on him? I didn't think so. I was just trying to wiggle that hand in there. And with the design of this handle, it wouldn't have slid in. So you got to manipulate it in. Like that. I did it pretty easily without the blade itself attached to the handle. But a little dab of super glue, I guess. Is that a just open it first, where the figure like breaks, an accessory breaks? And then you have all these paint flecks. I don't know how well you could see that. Yeah, you could see that pretty good. I mean, pretty well. You could see that. So that was happening in real time. Look, these are high-end figures, very dense, beautifully sculpted. The paint application is good. The figure right now is still intact. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. Just to have him standing like this with the blast and everything going. That looks cool on a shelf, for sure. And it will look cool on my shelf. I don't regret the purchase, but look at that. That's a neat pose right there. But I could see where the criticism is coming from, and maybe why these figures are sitting on the pegs at my local Target for literally years now. I mean, years. This Flash Gordon figure has been taunting me in that weird kind of collectibles section in the back of the Target. Not in the toy aisle proper, but now like, hey, grown-up collectors, you know, adult toy fans, here's all your stuff in the back behind the video games and stuff. That's where this is. So you expect kind of a higher caliber. But now I got to get a dab of glue and hope it all, you know, goes back together perfectly. And just a bit of a bummer, I guess. Glad I got it at a discount, ultimately. The Flash Gordon. Little to be desired, but ultimately, if you're a fan of Flash, this is the kind of treatment you want to see these characters get. You know, if you're into these kind of vintage, pulpy, potentially forgotten characters, let's face it, this is what will keep them alive, is this kind of representation in the toy aisle. And maybe in video games and stuff too. But I'm happy to see Flash Gordon getting toys. Now, if only his sword was as strong as his reputation, then this would be a cool figure 100%. But I got to give it a little demerit because it is now essentially incomplete. Oh well, let's see if Ming the Merciless is as strong as his arch nemesis Flash, or if he too succumbs to these powerful mitts. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Listen, I make comics and zines as well as these silly videos. I'm losing it now. My tongue's becoming inarticulate. You can follow me on Instagram at AmazingAZComics, where you can see more about the comics and zines that I make, and a little bit more about the comics and toys like these that I love. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in next time. I grab another toy off the pile here in my living room, and I say, you know what? Just open it. I got to get out of here, guys. Tune in next time.